As I said, I'm the director of the business school, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this particular event. We've got an hour this morning. I guess in the spirit of Madiba Day, Mandela Day, again, thank you for whatever it is that you're going to be doing out there. So thank you for just giving up some of your time in this morning. This is a really busy morning for everyone to just join us. As Milpark Business School, as you know, we offer a whole bunch of different programs, and one of them that we do offer is the MBA program. This particular module, which is the Business and Emerging Markets module, is part and parcel of the MBA experience. It's an elective course. So this morning we are speaking to some of our students, we are speaking to our alumni, and all the others that are interested in perhaps taking up this particular opportunity that we have. So whether it's for credit, academic credit, whether it is wanting to satisfy a cultural curiosity that you have, India has got a whole lot to offer. So apart from me being here this morning, we've got Stanton Lesh, who is the faculty member, and he's the one that is going to be talking through the module with you. We also have Chad Mishra from Woxsen University here this morning, and he's the head of international relations and strategic development at Woxsen University, and he's going to share a bit about what the university is all about, and he's going to situate this experience and explain to you, if you're thinking about going, what you can expect to experience at Woxsen University. We also have this morning Dr. Jane Usher, who is the head of department at the Milpark Business School, and she's the overall convener of the MBA, and she's also going to share a bit about, what this elective module means to you if you're thinking about it. Then we've got Camacho Kutumela, who is an alumnus, who is been on an exchange or international program before. She's going to share her pearls of wisdom in terms of what it meant for her. And last but not least, we've got Evelyn Canigan. She's the program manager on the MBA, and one who is steeped in the student experience and just knows this program really, really well. And she's also going to share her insights as well. We might be joined later on this morning by another alumnus as well, and that is Tato Bapela. We will be bringing him on board. So as you can see, we've got quite a number of individuals that are eager to kind of share with you their knowledge about this Business and Emerging Market module. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Stanton, first the faculty member, to speak a bit about the module. Stanton?
Thank you for that introduction, Sekerin, and good morning to all our students and prospective students. I just want to start off by saying that I'm so excited to be here today for two reasons. Firstly, and just give me 2 seconds, I think it's going to work. Firstly, because I can see my slides today and I can see myself. And if you knew me, I'm not good with technology. And a few times before, my things just did not work. So I'm so excited that I can see myself. I'm so excited that I can see the slides. And more importantly, I'm so excited to speak to you this morning because I love teaching and I obviously love interacting with our students. This is an exciting course. I think Jane and Sekerin, if we were a little bit more innovative, we should have made this session 67 minutes today. Because in honor of Madiba Day, because one of Madiba's things is that he was always for excellence. And I believe that Milpark Business School is associated with excellence, and especially this module, doing business in emerging markets. And so welcome, and I'll just talk you guys through the slides. But before I talk you through, this morning as I was driving my kids to school, I came across a statement, and I just wanted to share it with you because it was so apt and it was so accurate for today. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page, and that is by St. Augustine. And I think that's so true. The world is a book, but those who do not travel read only one page. So obviously, a book normally does not consist of only one page. And if you want to enrich your experience, if you want to make the world your oyster, you need to read the whole book, and therefore you need to travel. That's quite quite straightforward, and this is why we are here. This is, as Sekran mentioned, this is business in emerging markets. It is an elective module on your MBA, and basically there are three reasons why you do it. Most of us will do it for the degree and credit purposes. So if you are an MBA student and you successfully complete this module, you will get 10 credits towards your qualification. Then there are also students, that MBA students or alumni, that might have either have enough credits to qualify or have already completed the MBA, and they just want to do this course because they want to learn more about emerging markets, and sometimes even they just want to go to India to experience the vibrancy, to experience the culture, to experience the political environment, because a country is not just about the economy, it's also about the culture and the politics. You need to understand all of those. So those are the second type of people. They're just going for curriculum enrichment. And then lastly, you also got people that's for professional development. So you might have a business that's already doing business in emerging markets, but things are just quite not working for you, or you just believe you don't have that edge. And by attending this course, you will learn a few skills, obviously initially theoretically, and then when we are in India, given the exposure that we will have to businesses, to specialist faculty on that side, and obviously Milpark faculty, you might just learn a few tricks that you can implement in your business. So once again, this course offers students the opportunity to explore the business and the policy environment of an emerging economy like India. There are basically three components to this course. The first component, which starts towards the end of September, the 26th or the 27th of September, it's the distance learning online component, which happens at Milpark. So there will be about 3 or 4 lectures where we will explore India, we will explore the economy, we will explore the culture, we will explore the political environment, the technological advancements there. And there will obviously be an assignment that needs to be submitted on the 23rd of October. So at that stage, from a theoretical perspective, we will have a solid foundation into what India is and what India demands of business. But that is not enough. And that's why we also have the international trip, which is where the second and the third part comes in, where we have the industry immersion, the deep engagement with business leaders to gain insights into recent developments in India, happenings in India, and also the vision for India and what type of projects they are. And then the last part is, as part of the course, 10-day course, intensive course, being exposed to many things. We're also going to be exposed to case studies. And I love the case study method of teaching, because you often learn more than what you actually would if you did not work in that industry. So you're going to be exposed to a lot of case studies. There will be some presentations on the case studies, and there are always key learnings. There are always key things, and those things hopefully can then work into your final assignment, which will be due only once you get back towards the second week in January. You can work all of those in there, and we want it to be as action learning as possible. So I always believe in the statement that education is only valuable if you can translate it into action. So we want to ensure that the learnings that you are exposed to, both on the campus-based learning on the DLO platform, as well as the learning that we will be exposed to in India, that we can actually use that in the workplace immediately. Then let's just focus on what the learning outcomes of this module is. So firstly, we obviously want to enable students to gain the ability to investigate, to develop, and to execute business and trade between South Africa and India, or for that matter, any other emerging market. So it's always, like I said, the education, which is the investigate and the develop, must lead to action, and the action is the execute. We must be able to execute business and trade between South Africa and India. So that's our first learning outcome. And we obviously want you to learn about the economics, which is always important, the politics and the cultural issues that can affect business ventures in emerging countries. And all three of those issues are what we call macro-environmental issues. And macro-environmental issues, for those of you that have studied strategy, it's something that you can't control, but it has a direct bearing on your business. So obviously you need to know and understand what are those, and then be able to adapt and adjust and be agile and be able to exploit those opportunities. So what will you receive? So the course is going to cost 60,000 Rand, which I think is a bargain because it includes the module cost for business in emerging markets at Milpark. It includes return flights from Johannesburg to India and back. It also includes the accommodation for your full 10-day stay at Woxsen campus, quite a nice facility. A little bit later on, my colleague Chart of Woxsen University will show you how it looks. So your accommodation is sorted, your meals are sorted, transport to and from the airport and during the program, because on those 10 days, we're also going to visit some of the leading businesses in the city of Hyderabad. So all those are included. And then you will also, just to show off, you'll have one or two. And hopefully you can even pass it down to your kids later on in years gone by when they're also Milpark students. The only thing that you need to cover, actually there's two things that you need to cover for yourself, is your travel insurance and then obviously the cost of your visa. And the third thing is, sometimes it sounds obvious, but it's not so obvious. You need to have your own pocket money. So if you want to buy your wife a chocolate or you want to buy your child a chocolate, please don't ask me because I'm going on the store. Stanton, you said all costs are covered, so where's my child's chocolate money? Now you have to have your own pocket money. So everything is covered. And also the cost of being in Woxsen and being exposed to their faculty, being exposed to their business leaders, all of those costs are included in this. So what are the next steps for me? It's quite simple. Any registration or payment plan queries, you can just email mbs@milpark.ac.za. If there's anything specific about the course, which is academic related, you're more than welcome to contact me, stanton.lesh@milpark.ac.za, and I will definitely get back to you. I'm so excited to go to India in December. I've never been in India, so I definitely want to see what are our companies doing there. One of my previous, quite a few of my previous employers are doing business in India and they're doing well. Companies like Sanlam, Old Mutual, MMI, which is Momentum Metropolitan International, even our hospital business, Life Healthcare is there, SAB Miller is there, and also Naspers, and even our airports company in South Africa, they are responsible for the management of the airport, Mumbai International Airport. So our businesses are there, and they are there because there are opportunities to exploit in emerging markets. And I hope that by joining us on this course and by joining us on the trip to India, that you will also take some key learnings and some lessons there that you can implement in your business. That's it from my side. I'm just hand over to Segaran again to introduce our colleague from Woxsen University, Chahat Mishra. As Segaran mentioned, he's the head of international relations and strategic development. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Stanton, for an interesting and intriguing presentation. I just want to acknowledge that some folks are definitely having some issues in terms of sound as well as, I guess, hearing us. I've just taken note of the comments in the chat room. I guess we're trying to kind of just figure out what's going on and trying to, we'll definitely try and help where we can. But it seems like there's about 8 or 9 individuals that are having this particular challenge at this time. So sorry about that. I'm not too sure what's going on. So India is an incredible country. It is incredibly diverse. It's got this great excitement about it. It's part of BRICS. And apart from just the cultural curiosity, there is the political and the economic interest, which, as Stanton was alluding to, is incredibly intriguing to us as Africans, trying to look for those opportunities on the Indian subcontinent itself. So, Charles, if you can tell us a bit more about Woxsen University and what our students can look forward to as far as this international program is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Segren. Thank you, Stanton, for such a wonderful presentation. It's really nice to be discussing this opportunity with all of you. I believe many of you are not able to hear us as we are discussing this great opportunity. But I believe this webinar is being recorded and will be made available to you on this very platform, and the link can be shared by the organizers if that can be done. So thank you, Stanton. So Woxsen is a private university in Hyderabad, and as you know, Hyderabad is one of the tech hubs of India. Initially, and if you think about India, for example, as a country, what comes to your mind? Of course, diversity comes to your mind. The Hindu mythology comes to your mind, right? The various gods, right? However, having said that, there are multiple cities in India that hold its own significance. And in fact, south of India is known for its technology, its innovation, and its startup communities. Initially, Bangalore used to be known as the tech hub or the Silicon Valley of India. However, the crown is now shifting from Bangalore to Hyderabad, and Hyderabad is very fast moving towards getting the AI capital of India. So that's where we are. That's where the university is located. And I would just quickly share my screen as well. I may request the presentation to display it and share it on the screen. Maybe Hanley, if you are around.
I am. Could you just maybe tell me which one it is you want to pull up onto the screenshot?
Just my presentation, the very first slide where I begin. So we just upload this presentation on the share screen, and from there you can take it forward, from the Woxsen slide. If you could move to the next. I mean, it's just after the Milpark slide. Yes, move forward. Next, yes. So if you could go back to the previous slide. Thank you. So thank you so much. So just to share with all of you on why you should be choosing to come over to Woxsen. If you see, we are focused on 5 key pillars as a university. We are looking at internationalization as one of the core pillars. Research is very strongly embedded in our ecosystem. Corporate alignment being one of the major university players in India. We are well connected in the corporate world with many large to smaller, medium-sized companies where we have quite a good amount of presence with our activities. And of course, entrepreneurship and ethics, responsibility, and sustainability. Right. So these are the 5 key pillars of Woxsen, and why you should choose Woxsen is precisely because of its quality, not just in its academic delivery, but also in terms of the experience, the global, true cultural experience that you will witness once you're here at our campus. In terms of innovation, exposure, agility, and the people. That is also precisely why you should look out to come over to Hyderabad, be a part of Woxsen, and see how not just the faculties and students, but also various other stakeholders from the industry come forward and provide a very, I would say, a beautiful landscape, not just about the emerging technologies that we see in India, but also the other aspects, like, for example, Hinduism, which is very, I would say, widely talked about, not just from India to the world, but I think if you want to know more about how, say, for example, business lessons are derived from Hinduism, I think India is the place. Besides, of course, the other aspects of understanding how business is done in today's day and age. Moving forward, if you see in the next slide, we have also mentioned what you will experience while you're here at Woxsen. The state-of-the-art facilities. We have, Asia's largest Bloomberg lab. You will be having one of your workshops in this lab as well. We will incorporate elements of some sessions at the analytics lab, as well as, as you can see, the central library built on a 70,000 square feet. Again, one of Asia's largest that you will experience while you're here. The AI and robotics lab is another highlight of the university, where you will get an experience of how students are working towards, creating prototypes of robots, and they are working towards, consulting projects with companies and government bodies out here. So you get a sense of how the university, a very modern, contemporary university, looks like and how it functions. Then we have being a residential campus. So if you see, Woxsen is a fully residential campus. So you will have students and faculty members who are staying on campus 24/7. We are a 200 acres, I would say, size as a university. So pretty much the supermarket, medical facility, to a swimming pool, to a sports stadium, to a gymnasium. Everything is pretty much there inside the campus, while you will be staying, at the campus itself. Now, moving forward in the next slide, as you can see, Hanley, maybe please move to the next slide. So this is just a glimpse of the administration buildings that we have. Quite beautiful. I would say you would be pretty much studying amidst the greenery all around, very serene atmosphere, quite typical of an ambience that you would like to have. We are an hour away from the Rajiv Gandhi International Airport, which is the Hyderabad airport, where you will be arriving, and we will be having our airport transfers from the Hyderabad airport to our campus and back as well. As part of this program of the business and emerging markets, every local transportation is also covered in the same program, as my friend Stanton also mentioned. So all of that will be a part of it. Moving forward, if you see, again, few pictures, as you can see from the slides, just to give you a sense of how the campus looks like, what you will experience while you're here in India. These are some classrooms. In fact, the classroom that you will be studying in is the one on the right-hand side, the top right. It is one of the largest lecture theaters at the university. You will be attending your classes from this classroom as well. Moving forward, this is the central library. So pretty much everything to do with fiction, non-fiction, digital resources as well. Everything is available right here, and pretty much the heart of the campus while you will be present. Moving next. This is the robotics lab, as we discussed, focused on various artificial intelligence and robotic projects that our engineering and management students work upon. Moving forward, the trade tower is another interesting aspect of the program. So since our program will also focus on entrepreneurship and business development in India, specifically, this is our own incubation center called the Trade Tower. So you will see interact with some students who have been able to establish their startup ideas and get them incubated. You will be having an interaction with a startup head as well, who heads the trade tower, in terms of seeing what could be some opportunities that are prevailing in India and in your domain areas, for example. And if you'd like to get some support from Woxsen, we'll be very happy to support all of you, considering our special association with Milpark. Moving forward, just to get started with the schedule, if you see the day one when you arrive, you would be attending an orientation, complete debriefing of what the program looks like from the management, from the dean of the business school, and from my side. Moving next, we will have a curtain raiser session. If you can move back to the previous slide. Yes, thank you so much. We will start with a curtain raiser on entrepreneurship and innovation. And then moving forward, the very first day, you will be having a complete tour of the Woxsen campus. If you could please move to the previous slide. Thank you. And then we will have an importance of sustainable supply chain, Industry 5.0. You would be having a specific session on business applications with the lens of Hinduism. So this is going to be one of the highlights of our program as well. The last year, we run this with Latin Americans on our campus, and they really loved the session. I'm sure you will love this as well. So please feel free to let us know if there is anything else that you would still want in any of these dates. The next day, we will have a Hyderabad city tour, followed by the third day where you will be exposed to a design thinking workshop, a specific intensive workshop on entrepreneurship in India. You will have some reflective time on, the Bima program from the Milpark side. And then on the fourth day, you will be visiting T-Hub and T-Works, which is the Asia's largest innovation hub located in Hyderabad. And T-Works is India's largest prototyping center. So we would be visiting these facilities and, sort of understanding what are the nuances involved in getting some of the products across to the Indian consumers. And most of these products are also being exported to other countries. And then we will be visiting some companies in Hyderabad. Moving to the next day, we will be attending a workshop on trends and applications of emerging technologies in today's era. Woxsen is known for its focus on emerging technology, entrepreneurship, and financial services. So this is going to be another major highlight for all of you, which is specially curated for you. And then we will deep dive into the world of financial markets. This you will be attending from the Bloomberg Finance Lab on our campus. And then again, a reflective time for you. But before that, there would be a networking time with the students, academic staff, and industry experts. Moving next, we will have a keynote by an Indian business leader, then a session on how do we bring in disruptive innovations. We are now in the age of Industry 5.0. We were very, till the recent past few years, we were talking about Industry 4.0, but now with the disruptions all around, with the emergence of technology across sectors, we see that we are in marketing. Marketing is a 5.0, and what are its global implications? We will talk about that. We will discuss some India-specific case studies, and there will be teamwork for all of you to work along together. Moving forward, we would have, from the human resources perspective, how human resources blends very easily with the technology space. That will also be covered. Then some of you would have an opportunity, if all of you are interested, you will understand the art of pitching your business ideas to the prospective target audience. It could be venture capitalists, it could be angel investors. So we will have quite of that of an ambience which you will be a part of. And then another entrepreneurial strategies with mantras from Indian experts. We will be talking about that. And then again, time for you on reflective journaling. On the day 9th, you will have your final presentations based on the cases which were given in the last 2 to 3 days. And most of you would be working in different teams. In fact, we will also see if we can have Woxsen students be a part of all of these teams so that you can get a perspective of how Indians are looking at the same problem statement. Maybe your perspectives may be different, but all of us would love to learn from each other. And that's the beauty of such a program. And then on the final day, on day 9, we also have a cultural evening and a DJ party, which will be on campus. This is purely just to give you a cultural flavor of India in specific. So that will also be there. And next, the last day, which is where you will have your certification ceremony and your, the concluding remarks from Woxsen as well as from Milpark on the entire program and a vote of thanks. That's where we conclude on the 13th of December. So this is pretty much about the program, but I would now like to show you a quick video about one of the last programs that we did with the Brazilians and Colombians on the business and emerging markets. So I'll quickly share my screen and show you that.
Shahad, please exit the presentation.
First of all, I would like to thank you all from Woxsen University for hosting us here. It's been a great experience for us.
It has exceeded my expectations to take part of this program of exchange between Woxsen and Unicamp University from Brazil, and to see the high level of education and discussions that we have had in this program.
It's really, really nice, like the professors, all the apartments in here, like the apartment that we live, and the schedule that we're just having is amazing. Like everything is amazing. Guys, if you have the chance, please come to Woxsen. You won't regret it.
How you, people of Woxsen University, have created this incredible campus, and in Hyderabad you have been developing.
Had the chance to be immersed in a lot of things that they usually do, so it's not only about just to come and learn about business, it's about how actually the life in India is, and they are amazing people. They makes me feel like I was at home, so I just grateful and thankful with everyone.
Well, thank you so much. There's another quick video which I wanted to show you of the Woxsen campus, just to give you a perspective of how the campus looks like, and then
honestly, this feels no less than any world-class.
All right, thank you so much. So as you could see, this is purely, a city campus that we have built. And while you're here, and you will be experiencing as part of the Business and Emerging Markets program, you would have access to all of these facilities, be it the Bloomberg lab, be it the analytics lab, be it the library, be it any of the classrooms. In fact, the faculty that we have who would be delivering most of these programs are also from the industry. And they have expertise, not just from the academic side, but also years of corporate experience that they bring to the table. So that's pretty much from my side, and I would be inviting all of you to India in December. And I look forward to seeing all of you. Questions, I will put my email in the chat box, and you could, reach out to us if you have questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Chad. I mean, that was a really great presentation, and it certainly has built up the excitement around this module that we've been talking about, so much so that I wish that I was a student again, and I can, take advantage of just the opportunity itself. Speaking about students and alumni, it's my pleasure again to introduce two alumni that have gone on this program in the past. As I indicated earlier, Komocho Kutumela, who has been to Brazil, I believe, and then Thato Bapela, who also has been on exchange. So without any further ado, I'm going to get into the questions. It's been great to also just watch the questions come up in the chat room, and most of these questions have been answered in terms of how Burma fits in, Business Emerging Markets module, can I take the course if I'm not a registered student, etc. So there's a whole lot of information that has been covered there. As we said, this is recorded, and we will release the recording. But let's get into the actual heart of all of this. Komocho and Thato, I'm going to ask you guys now some questions around your experiences. So you've been, as I've said, on an international program. Can you share with the audience, I mean, what piqued your curiosity? What made you go on an exchange? Was there just, some kind of, is it a bucket list, or there was just much more? There was just the academic curiosity, the cultural curiosity. If you, can just share with us. Komocho, I'm going to start off with you first.
Yeah. Thank you, Sabrin, and thank you to Milpark for inviting me here, and also teasing us, Tato, with the India trip. It's like I want to go now. It's like, can I please sign up? But Sabrin, for me, it was a number of factors. So first, it was for personal growth and exposure into Brazil. But yes, it was also for the academic and professional development, because what I wanted to do from an MBA perspective is just to get the practical side of things. So in terms of seeing how other markets are different from us, because yes, you might be doing a strategy or recommending some initiatives, in the other markets. But if you haven't been there, if you haven't been exposed to that, it sometimes becomes a bit of difficult. So for me, it was that just to practical and a exposure to India.
Okay, great. Thato, for you, in terms of just your previous experience on an international program, what were some of the motivating factors, in terms of just getting you going on a program?
Yeah, I think just taking into consideration that you are doing an internationally accredited qualification, the qualification itself, going on a trip kind of takes the theory and makes it relatable, and you can apply it in a different context. So a lot of the things that we were learning in Beamer, you doing a bit of desktop research, trying to, pull certain views, etc. But actually seeing it come alive in another environment with vast differences, but yet a lot of similarities, it makes the content a lot relatable. I think we spent a lot of time going into industries, really unpacking a lot of the things that they are doing well, elements that we can also improve on from a development perspective. And going to Brazil, if you just look at the square meterage size, I mean, it's almost 8 times the size of South Africa. So culturally, there is areas that are untouched, and just getting into the Amazon, you really start appreciating how different cultures navigate and how they go about their day-to-day lives, and just contextualizing it into what you're studying. It makes things a lot relatable. And also, a lot of the times you tend to look at solutions that are posed from an international perspective and think that it cannot be done in South Africa. But when you go into an environment like Brazil or India, you would most likely see that a lot of the things that you're thinking about can be implemented here. And just trying to relate what are those barriers that you need to get over to actually make some of those things come alive. So a lot of cultural lessons, a lot of academic validation points, that which is the reason you go, but also a lot of growth. I think it's high pressure, a lot of data to consume, and it's just important that you're always on top of your work. But yeah, I think for me that was the motivation.
Okay, great. So a combination of trying to understand another's culture, looking at opportunities in terms of how things are done there, and trying to bring those experiences back home to South Africa, to us here on the African continent. So absolutely hear you. Kamacho, I'm going to now move on to the next question. You guys are also working adults. You've got busy lives. This particular opportunity requires of you to perhaps have discussions with your employers, get some time off work, plan with, family, etc. So a couple of different parts of this, Kamacho and Thatu. So the first part is, how were you able to, have these conversations with your employer in terms of just getting the necessary time off to go on exchange? Kamacho?
So I was fortunate enough that I got the support from my manager, but most importantly from my organization. But I think what is important to note is that when you're doing this kind of program, like an MBA program, you have to make sure that it comes to life. Tato touched that to say, when you're doing something, it has to be practical and you have to see value, and it just cannot be theory. So having that conversation with your organization or with your line manager to say, what is it that you're learning, and how is it going to contribute into your current organization or into what you are doing in your current position. So that was easier for me, and I got the support from the organization. So getting time off, getting the support that I needed wasn't much of a difficult, but it's a conversation that needs to happen earlier on. It's a give and take situation where you bring something to the table for the organization to get support, but you're also contributing at the end of the day.
Fair enough, absolutely so. So, Thatu, for you, Kamacho speaks about just getting the necessary support, and then one of the things that we try and get across in the MBA program, it's not only about theory, it's also about this ability to apply something that we learn on the program. And there's nothing better than being able to go to a particular country, I would imagine, and see things in practice. So for you, Thatu, how did it translate in terms of just things that you could put into practice and use that as I guess a key selling point on the for this particular experience?
Yeah, so I think there's over and above what Khumuto highlighted. What's important is that the course itself does cost a little bit more than the other subjects, and it's something that needs to be considered. So from a financial perspective, it's really trying to articulate the pros and cons of you traveling abroad, and also there's an element of growth that happens in it that you can always bring back to the organization. So having a worldwide perspective on existing payment issues, socioeconomic challenges, innovation relating to blockchain, cryptos, etc., and how other environments actually are implemented, it actually allows you to solutions with more of a worldwide view as opposed to just seeing a problem from a South African lens. The most important thing I would say to the students or the students that are considering this is do get your motivations in early from a financing perspective. It's just important that you know what your organization can help you with if you are applying for a bursary. I do recommend that you do apply for BEMA. So I think there was a chat around, payment plans, etc. So if you can start early, really start putting the money aside for this particular subject, because it's not just a normal curriculum that you're doing. This is quite broadening and from a mental perspective. And just generally what happens is when you do come back, there's a lot of growth, and that does reflect in the work. It also reflects in how people recognize you in the organization.
Fair enough, absolutely. And it brings me very nicely to the next question that I would like to ask you guys. And it's very exciting. Some would suggest it's a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity while being a student, to go on an international program. But there's always the issue of money and how does this thing basically get funded. So given what Tato said, Khumuto, can you just build up a bit more? How were you able to fund this for yourself? There's always this question of return, and I'm not asking it in that simple algebraic kind of manner in terms of a return, to yourself, because there's so many things that one gets out of this exchange. So perhaps if you can just highlight a bit more about this, Khumuto.
So I think for me, personally, Sangren, is that I must say that in the beginning of the year, I thought I cannot afford this. But then I had to weigh the pros and cons, and not in terms of money versus return, but in terms of the experience. Because I don't think, not a lot of us get to a point where you say, I have enough money, so I can just fund this myself and thinking. So it's what are you going to gain from there? And I mean, the school had an arrangement system because I was paying for myself. So they have a program where you can apply to pay in, I think it's in installment prior. And I thought, because I learned in finance that it's always better to use somebody else's money if you can't get if you're not going to get interest. So I said, I'm going to use that. So I did use the option to get an arrangement, pay installment without the interest. The school provided the support, and that's what I did, and that helped, because at the end of the day, if you take a loan, high interest, etc. So, but the thing is, you need to commit to paying. Because if you default, then at the end of the day, you're not gonna get to your goal of going to the trip.
Sure, fair enough. So there are definitely options that are available in terms of making this, possible and a reality. Tata, I want to move on now to you. I think sometimes one can easily get overwhelmed with so much of information about a particular country and the possibilities that this may have in terms of whether it's to fulfill a module on a particular program, to use this as just an opportunity to understand people, its markets, etc. What advice would you give individuals, Sato, in terms of just thinking through it?
Yeah, so, did it a few years ago, but just reflecting back on it, it's just very important that you document. The simplest things are taking pictures, writing notes, making your own voice recordings, being engaged every day, asking questions, even if it's just asking 3 good questions that it's relating to your assessment. Try and get your information as early as possible and document it on a day-by-day basis. This is going to be an extremely fast-packed session, and you need to substantiate a lot of the things that you are proposing. And the best way to do that is get as much evidence as possible to assist you. So one is, just even if it's a recording, making notes on what you saw, how does that relate to your case study, so those are things that are quite important. I think the other piece is where we did see a lot of people getting stuck is if you haven't done the desktop research to a sufficient level upfront, it will hinder you on the back end. So you want to be able to have sufficient enough work done upfront, go in there, experience the culture, experience the industries, and then when you come back, it's more or less about plugging in this new data to round up your assignments / exam, and be able to submit that. So it's just very important that you just need to be engaged. A few days of pure focus, it's important, but you need to also have fun. This is not something whereby you are just going to go in and get academics and tick the boxes off. It's also about, experiencing and picking up things that aren't necessarily, part of the syllabus, but just information. For example, in Brazil, we found out that, data is quite expensive. And the data prices between SA and Brazil was exorbitant. But that is information that can be utilized. You find people driving scooters and they throw them in the bushes. And those are the things that you see where someone picks up a scooter from the bush, activates it with his smartphone, and he carries on moving. So all of those data points become something that's informative and how it can be utilized depending on what your case study is about.
Okay, great, fantastic. Kamacho, Thancho, thank you so much for just sharing your experiences with the students in this particular session. As we've indicated, that this is going to be recorded and played back to individuals. We've put our email address in the chat to allow folks to engage with us about whatever issue they might have and questions they might have around the exchange program. Evelyn, Stanton, Chahat, Jane, thank you so much for also joining the session itself. Sadly, we have run out of time. I would have definitely liked to have brought more of the folks on board in terms of just engaging with individuals. But this is a fantastic opportunity, again, to the students and others that want to go on an international program. Not only would you be immersed in an incredibly old and rich culture, there are fantastic opportunities to learn about business opportunities and market opportunities within the Indian, within India, and I guess the subcontinent itself. So with that, I need to just check in with the producer, Jane. Are we all set for the session to end quite soon?
Hi, Segun. I think we are all done. Yes,
Aha.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so we're all done. So folks, thanks again for just giving up some of your morning and engaging with us. We really look forward to continuing the conversations with you about this particular opportunity and for getting as many of you onto the exchange program or the international program. So thanks again. Thank you very much.